Oh, welcome to another great edition of Cocktails with Cav, where we bring the indie creator meet and greets to you. Oh, I tell you what, you're going to want to stick around tonight. Incredible show, incredible lady, incredible author. Oh, it's going to be a great show. And as always, look, please follow us, share the show so more people can get to know these indie creators. And please, please, please visit the links in the description of the show and consider supporting these hardworking indie creators. Oh, I tell you what, we're coming up soon on our 50th show. I can't believe it. 50 shows already, but so much fun, y'all. And I tell you what, we're going to have a special show for our 50th, so be on the lookout for that. And as always, look, our thoughts and prayers this week go out to all of the victims of Hurricane Helene, all the way up to the Carolinas. It's just been an incredible tragedy. So please keep them all in your thoughts and prayers and help wherever you can. We know what it's like down here in New Orleans, that's for sure. So please consider it. There's been a lot of destruction going on from this storm all the way up to North Carolina. It's something incredible to see, I tell you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please, let's get started with this incredible episode of Cocktails with Cav. Please help me welcome to the stage the incredible author, Sonia Estavillo. Oh, Sonia, so glad we're finally doing this show. I told you we were on a mission to have you on Cocktails with Cav. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Oh, great. Getting there now, I tell you. Now that we get past all kinds of technical difficulties, have a great Cocktails with Cav show for you. Oh, man. Where you coming from today?
I'm in Los Angeles, California. Sunny out here, and it's beautiful as always.
Oh, golly. Yeah.
Spoiled.
Jealous. We're always watching the tropics over here, you know. But geez and Pete's, I am so glad to have you on, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't had a chance to meet Sonia on X, her handle will be in the description of the show for you. By all means, please give her a follow. Great person to interact with, fun. But I tell you what, Sonia, we just so glad to have you on, and we love for the audience to get to know the creators. So please, by all means, tell us a little bit about yourself before we talk about your great works of fiction that are out.
Thank you. So I have a film background. I have a bachelor's in film and a master's degree in television, radio, and film. During my undergrad years, I did win some awards. I won the David Toohey Award for screenwriting, the Carl Foreman Award for film production, and I also won the Latina Best Film Award for my short film. So I have a background in film, and that influences my style, the screenwriting style. I have a strong dialogue and cinematic quality. From what people have told me, they think that my dialogue is very strong, as well as the cinematic aspect. A lot of times people say that when they read my book, it's like watching a movie, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, haven't done a screenplay myself years ago with one of my writing partners. It helps dialogue tremendously, doesn't it? It's
I mean, to be able to know how, because in screenplays everything is fleshed out, and it's like stanzas, right? You don't have a lot of heavy narrative chunks. You don't have a lot of exposition. It's almost all dialogue, a couple of sentences here and there for body movements for the actors, but most of the time it's heavy dialogue. So you have to it does force you to focus on conversations and be a very good eavesdropper. Screen
Right.
Screenwriters, good screenwriters, pay attention to dialogue, pay attention to how people are speaking, and they use it for their fuel. They use it for their next screenplay usually.
Oh, that's it. And I tell you, it's yeah, working on a novelization of the screenplay we wrote. I found that ironic that it was, to expand that narration, So I'm sure it's
Harder to do that.
yeah,
Other
and I'm sure it
times. Mhm.
came in great for your books.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely did, and, so I started writing The Serpent's Bridge back in 2018, 2019, when at the time I had an agent. I had an agent for 5 years, and people think that once you get an agent, everything goes great, you get a book deal in 2 weeks, your book sells overnight, you get, and that's not, some people get that experience. A lot of some authors are privileged to get an agent and they have a book deal really quickly. In my particular case, I was one of those authors or writers that was on submission for 5 years. Um, Lo and behold, after parting ways with my agent amicably, with no book deals, crying ugly tears, literally sobbing and the ugly tears. I It was a very traumatic experience for me. I didn't have the best experience with an agent. Um, there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of things that were not communicated to me properly, and I didn't know that until after we parted ways. But it was the best thing for my career that could have ever happened to me, was departing from that relationship. And I went through publishers marketplace, researched publishers that were looking for authors, that were accepting authors that were not agented. I found a publisher, queried them. I queried the Serpent Woman, and they loved it so much that they offered me a 3-book deal. And they asked me, what else you have? I said, I have book 1, actually. That's actually book 2. I actually have book 1. They go, let's see book 1. And they read book 1 and they loved that too. They offered me a 3-book deal, and it's most likely going to expand to like 4 or 5 books, probably even more.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah, that's incredible. And I tell you, it's definitely a process. And a lot of indie creators take different tacks. Obviously, there's
yes, I would have. If you're asking me, yeah, would I have loved a big 5 publishing deal with a mega advance? Yeah, absolutely. Would I have wanted, but I'm looking at my stats, I'm looking at my pre-sales, and I am competing with, my book right now is competing with some of the people who have gone through big 5 publishers. And I have decent reviews up right now. My sales are pretty decent. And it just came out August 6th, but it has been a hustle. I do have a marketing background. I've been in marketing for more than 10 years. In addition to my master's degree, I have 22 certifications in social media, digital marketing, brand strategy, creative strategy. I have a certification on every single platform, a Facebook Blueprint certification for creative strategy, a LinkedIn ad certification. I have a Pinterest, you name it. I have a certification on every platform. And the last company I worked with, I helped them sell for 110 million. And the owners came to me and said, it was your content strategy, it was your marketing strategy that helped us sell. We could not have done it without you. and that was
Wow.
the best. 110 million I helped the company sell for. So I have the background of marketing. I have that marketing mind, and I do think that it has helped me to have a grassroots marketing campaign for in terms of selling my book. Right now, I have around 74 reviews at 4.9 stars on Amazon, and I have roughly 128 reviews on Goodreads at 4.9 stars as well.
Man, I tell you what, make sure you DM me so you can show me how to social media my way into people buying me a cup of coffee for
Well,
cocktails
I
or
mean,
cab.
has it been easy? It has not been easy. It has it. A lot of times people think some authors they think, oh, okay, I'm published now. That's all. And literally, I legitimately have friends that they get published, and then they just work on the writing part of it, writing their next book, and they just leave alone whatever book is up. Once in a while, they will post about their book. Once in a while, they will promote the book, but they don't really put a lot of money behind it. Sometimes they can't afford it. In my case, I actually invested in paid marketing because paid ads, because I know that it's important to do that. So I spent a lot of my own money in marketing my own book through paid ads, organic ads as well. But
Yeah, and I tell you,
I do currently have or closer to 185, 190,000 followers across my social platforms.
well, and I tell you, a lot of the times, obviously interviewing a bunch of indie creators and especially authors, yeah, a lot of people, of course, don't understand. Readers don't understand just the massive amount of work it
So much
takes
work.
to.
Every day I'm
The
hustling.
competition's crazy too,
The competition is crazy. I've already had my competitors try to like get my rating down. So I've gone through hell and back to get to where I'm at. When I say that I got good reviews, it was not effortless. I spent thousands of dollars doing paid ads myself, spending my own money, promoting myself. My publisher actually pitches in and also does paid ads, and they pay for it themselves. So having a small press backing in addition to my own marketing background is good. But I cannot imagine why people would want to bring you down. And
Ah,
I just started August 6th. My book was, and I heard these horror stories before. Watch out if you're a debut author. Watch out if you're good at marketing and you get good, and if you're good at trying to get those sales, so people might gonna bring you down. And I'm like, you know, I was in this naive world where, I didn't experience it myself. So I just shrugged it off. I'm like, whatever. But then when it happens to you, I worked really hard to get to where I'm at. I have had some very sweet, kind, generous people that have said, that have had my back, and like you, that are like, I am so happy for you. Finally, I've been following you on Twitter and TikTok, and I cannot believe how long it's taken you. I'm so proud of you. And these people are real champions, but there are people out there that are haters. They're going to be like, wait a minute,
oh sure. Oh
I went
sure.
through a big five, and who is this person getting more? Who is this person getting more reviews than me when I have an agent and I
Well,
have a big five deal, and this person does? And how dare they?
it's
succeed?
it's a wacky competitive world, that's for sure. But I think the key takeaway from all of that really is that the grind and the consistency and just willing to put forth the elbow grease and build your platform organically. And can't express that enough to people.
Yeah.
It's one thing to get
I've
on the
done
follower train.
videos. I've done video. I have a video background, so I do shoot videos. So I shot videos, edited my own videos, did my own trailers. I started a YouTube channel. I am on every platform you can imagine, and it is a lot of work. people think, oh, well, she can just look pretty and just smile, and her publisher is probably taking care of all of it. No.
Well, now that you're on Cocktails with Cav, everything's gonna break loose for you, dang it, Sonia. Oh, geez. Well, I tell you what, Sonia, let me refill my cocktail here. And when we come back, let's get into discussing the Serpent's Bridge and your
Okay.
new one that's on pre-order.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
everybody, got to pay those bills. Quick mid-roll break real fast. Look, as an Amazon affiliate, I only advertise products I truly believe in, and I wanted to give everyone a heads up on this incredible product that I use myself, especially when traveling. You cannot go wrong with the Camrui Mini Desktop PC. With 16 gigs DDR4 RAM, as well as a 512 gig hard drive, it's as powerful as the big, huge desktop I have at home in my office. And when I'm traveling, look, you can see it fits in the palm of your hand. It's so easy to travel with. With its multiple HDMI ports, I just simply plug it into the TV in my RV or hotel room, and I have as much computing power as I need to even produce my Cocktails with Cav show on the road. So if you're in the market for a PC, please check out our affiliate link in the description. It is so incredibly inexpensive, you're not going to believe it. So do yourself a favor, go click that affiliate link and check it out. You'll be glad you did. Oh, thanks for hanging in with me, Sonia. I definitely had to refill. It was, but yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing a lot of the work and turmoil that goes into being an indie creator. Because, like I said, that's one of the reasons we do Cocktails with Cav. You know, reach out, let the audience get to know creators, but also help other creators. You know,
Right. Because here's at the end of the day, I'm going to get up the next day and I'm going to keep writing. I'm going to get up the next day. I'm going to keep promoting myself. I'm going to get up the next day and keep marketing myself and championing my own work. Because if I don't champion my work, who will?
well, I think readers, readers definitely can recognize. Like, most authors are full of humility by the time they get their work in front of you, you know. So, but
It's a humbling process. It's a humbling process. It's very humbling.
It surely is. Well, let's talk about your great works of fiction. I know you have this incredible series. Like I said when I came across you on X. But yeah, tell us a little bit about your first book was Serpent's Bridge, and tell us some about it.
The Serpent's Bridge was inspired by my family background. My uncle, Nicholas Estavillo, is the highest ranking Puerto Rican cop in New York history. He was the highest Puerto Rican to make 3-star in New York. He was a part of 9/11. He was a part of some of the biggest things that happened in New York. He has his own Wikipedia page. He went to FBI Academy. He's an ex-Marine, went to Vietnam. He's a real badass. And he inspired me to write this series. But I also met another lady whose husband was a cop. He was an undercover detective, and he was found under a bridge under one of the freeways, shot to death. He was an undercover narcotics agent or detective, and they never found the killer. So that inspired me, along with my dad, who was also a retired Air Force. He was retired U.S. Border Patrol and U.S. Customs. And so he went through he knows all of the drugs that come in, the immigration problem. And, as a person of color with family that are people of color, and they are also family of blue and military people, I wanted to tell a story that was not your generic, all cops are white and they're all bad, and they're all racist, and they're all
right.
They all look like this. People don't realize, there are a lot of people of color. There are police officers. There are good people that are police officers. But, I also wanted to tell the story from the immigration angle as well, because my mom was Korean and a Korean immigrant coming into this country. So I felt like I was in a unique situation to understand the immigrant's perspective. My mom came into this country as a poor immigrant. I came up poor. When I got my bachelor's degree and master's degree, my family didn't help me. I had to pay for it myself. I had to get student loans and worked several jobs to get through school. I was one of the first generations in my family to get a degree. My dad has his bachelor's degree, but I feel like I'm in a unique situation to understand the police perspective, to understand the immigrant's perspective. And I wanted to tell a story about immigrants and being targeted. So this book is about undocumented Mexican immigrants being targeted by a serial killer, and how the media treats them, how the media might be biased against their lives, how the media might portray them as, their lives doesn't matter, so I don't have to report this death. And I like to show all angles, how the media is kind of negative and biased against undocumented Mexican immigrants, how undocumented Mexican immigrants and immigrants in general are treated in this country, kind of like a lower class or second class citizen. But I also wanted to be fair in terms of, ICE agents have a job to do, police officers have a job to do. So I showed all sides without getting too heavy into left-wing politics or right-wing politics. I wanted to be right in the middle, because that's kind of where my political stance is. I'm right in the middle, and I like to be fair. And judging by a lot of my readers, they have really liked the book because they felt like they were not preached to. It was a fair assessment from all angles.
Right. And I think your background, and like you said, your family's background just added so much depth to the story, right? And so, yeah, it was really fascinating, like I said, when I came across your works. And then, of course, you got book 2.
Yeah.
The Serpent Woman.
So the Serpent Woman is a little more sensitive of a topic. It does have more trigger warnings, such as sexual mention of sexual assault, mention of rape, mention of child abuse, mention of obviously dead bodies, suicide. So there's a lot of vigilante. It's a vigilante female serial killer that is like a Dexter type of character that that has a hit list of white supremacists that was a part of a sex ring. And they have a personal connection to them because they had a traumatic experience with them in the past, and they seek revenge because the FBI does nothing, the police force does nothing. So Von Schlang takes matters into her own hands and targets these men she goes after them. And so it's a morally gray character where the serial killer is obviously doing something bad, but you are rooting for her all the way.
Yeah, and I love that depth of character, that you end up rooting for the supposed, man, that psychology of it all.
And my background, and I'll get personal, is, I dealt with, I'm a sexual assault survivor, and I'm an child abuse survivor, and I'm a survivor of a lot of these things, and I have a hit list in my own mind of men that had hurt me and in my past, and not to get too detailed, but so this book was very, very, very personal to me, and it is going to be dedicated to all sexual assault survivors and people who are victimized, and they don't feel like they have a voice. It's a book about you're no longer a victim, but you're a survivor. And not that you go around doing what von Schlang does, but
Right, right.
but it was a good way for me to finally kill off some of the people that really traumatized me in my and from my childhood to my adulthood. Some of the really horrific experiences that I dealt with. To finally take a moment to create these characters that I could kill in my book.
It was kind of cathartic then, is what you
It was very cathartic to be able to figuratively kill off these demons that have been haunting me for all my life. And you think, well, if something happens in your childhood, something happens in your adulthood, young adulthood, you go through therapy and you finally get over it after a few years. And that's just not true. It always stays with you, especially if you're a sexual assault survivor, especially if you're a child abuse survivor. And when you're dealing with so much trauma, it still stays with me. I deal with depression, and I'm very open on my platforms about it. I deal with anxiety, I deal with insomnia, and I am also a recovering alcoholic. So with book one, Detective Anaya Nazario is a recovering alcoholic. My dad is an alcoholic, and I kind of fell into that trap. So I feel like I also have the perspective of a legitimate person who has struggled with alcohol and have relapsed a few times, to tell the story from Nazario's perspective.
Well, they're two, I'm telling you, two incredible books. Well, Sonia, what's next on this incredible writing career you have going on? What can we expect? Got a little scoop for Cocktails with Cav?
Yeah, so the next book is Twilight of the Serpent, and I'm currently writing that. And it's also based on my own personal experience as a stalking victim. I've been a stalking victim, and so the book deals with a stalker, and it brings back von Schlang out of retirement. She tries to hide out and retire from her bad ways, and then she gets kind of roped into trying to save someone again. And von Schlang does have a savior complex, right? Because she's a vigilante serial killer, but she has a savior complex of trying to save the good people. And so I feel like that brings a lot of depth and character to her. If people like Dexter, if they're a Dexter fan, if they are a fan of the girl with her dragon tattoo, they're gonna like this book. And so, not to give away too much, Twilight of the Serpent brings back Detective Anaya Nazario, Blake Huxley, her on and off again lover, and her partner, Detective Wilson, and one of my favorite characters, von Schlang, the vigilante murderess. And it is a book about being stalked, because I was stalked for 7 years, and it was not a fun experience. It was not romantic. It was not flattering. It was very traumatic. So it's another one of these books that I hold dear to my heart for people who are stalking victims, because one thing that people they don't realize about stalking victims, they have very little protection against their stalker. A lot of stalking victims get killed because police cannot do anything about stalkers. You need an enormous amount of paper trail. You need like thousands of emails, thousands of phone calls. The person has to threaten your life. And even then, police do very little to help stalking victims. This book is about that.
Oh, wow. Well, we're definitely looking forward to that. Well, Sonia, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you have a tremendously busy schedule out there in LA. You have a wonderful family, that you talk about that since I've gotten to know you. And so I know you got a lot of work going on. So to take time out of your schedule and we can finally make this interview happen.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
happy.
you so much.
And Sonia, please, ladies and gentlemen, please Sonia's handle, like I said, for X will be right in the description of the show. Please go give her a follow. Keep up with her incredible work. Like I said, she has the Serpent's Bridge.
It's out for order now, and it's on paperback and digital on Kindle Unlimited, but you can also pre-order the Serpent Woman as well.
Yeah. So the Serpent Woman's up for pre-order now, right? So
yes.
Oh, well, awesome. Well, I tell you what, Sonia, and we're definitely all looking forward to your new release, The Twilight of the Serpent, when you're finally wrapping that up. So,
yeah, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for letting me express my I like to keep it real. And in my books, that's my tone. Everybody says this is such a realistic fiction. I like to write realistic fiction, but I also like to, as you can tell, be honest about my feelings and my struggles, whether good or bad, during this process.
Oh, without a doubt. Well, it makes us for some great works of fiction, that's for sure. Well, Sonia, please, and by all means, when you finish The Twilight of the Serpent, come back on. We'd love to talk about that when you finally get it out, and we can give people more details.
Thank you.
All right, Sonia, have a good evening out there in LA.
Cheers.
Cheers.